Are you ready to turn your speaking into a more profitable marketing strategy? Then you're going to love my limited series podcast, Public Speaking Monetization Tips. In each short, actionable episode, I share insider strategies to help you land more speaking opportunities, attract your ideal clients, and confidently sell from the stage without ever feeling salesy. So if you're ready to get booked, seen, and paid, search for public speaking monetization tips on your favorite podcast app and start listening today. Welcome back to Be in Demand. I'm your host, Laurie-Ann, and this podcast is all about how to lead with your voice, how to leverage speaking opportunities as your best form of marketing to showcase your expertise and monetize your story. Today is a special speaker community circle, and this is where I do a monthly training, usually 15 to 20 minutes, followed by the audience. The live audience is allowed to ask questions about the topic or about anything about speaking. Thank you, everybody, for joining me this month, before the holidays get, in the swing of things. I'm going to give you some information that I think will at least get you started. So I do want to talk about that I addressed and downloaded an episode early. Instead of it coming out today on Monday, I released it on Friday because I wanted people to have time to actually implement it over the weekend. And with all the airline chaos that has been going on, there's a lot of meeting planners who have been having like severe, like some chest pains, some like nervous reactions to whether or not their speakers are going to be showing up. And in that episode, you can actually hear me like walk you step by step through this process of finding a big city that's near you that you are drivable to or can take a train to, and find the convention centers and reach out to the people who are having events. Now remember, do not judge the title of a conference too quickly. Make sure you open it up and see the different sessions that they're actually having, because, and I'll use this example that I did a live example once, and I just picked a HVAC management. And when we opened it up, and I did this live on a speaker circle call, we saw that it was a very holistic, all-rounded type event. They were talking about career development, mindset, meditation. So make sure you look at the conference, and that's where you'll be able to also reach out. Remember, convention centers are in the business of hosting events. So that's why you will see all the different events that are actually happening within the couple of weeks, months, all that stuff. But definitely check them out. And the way that I want you to basically edit this process, and I actually give you the verbiage on what to say in the email when you're reaching out to the person in the podcast episode, is think about the weather that is about to hit us. Like winter is coming. And even if you live in the warmer parts of the states, don't forget there are speakers that are coming or trying to come from colder parts of the country where they might be snowed in, and you never know where a speaker actually is. So there's so many different weather and reasons why speakers aren't able to show up, and you reaching out to them, it's like you wearing your red cape and sharing and helping that you're available to help them out. And most of those meeting planners are going to be local, so they're also going to remember you. So keep that in mind. You are building a relationship with people. So that is the one thing that I wanted to share with you today. So that podcast episode is timely. However, it can be modified for different other travel situations. But today, I would like to talk about strategic networking, strategic visibility. So on this call, I know that I've had a number of people, both corporate and also online specialists. A lot of you here are like fall into one of those two categories. And so I really want to talk about how speaking can help you in both, help you as networking, but also get you in front of the strategic right people. That's why I'm calling it strategic visibility, strategic networking. Now, back when I first started, I did not like to network. It felt so awkward to me. Who here like also is like, yep, just yep. I see a lot of hands going up. Just you don't know what to say, and it's like this one-on-one, and it's very surface level. And I really like to have some deep conversations, but also it's very time consuming. And I don't know about you, but I just don't have that much time. I would, once I started a little bit of speaking, I would be like, put me up in the front of the room for 15, 30, 45 minutes any day. So that at the very end of the conversation, me speaking, I could say, and if you would like to ask me a private question, share with me a personal situation, I'll be in the back of the room. So I was inviting people to come and find me instead of me trying to like go around the room and do the networking thing. So it worked really well. So that's why I think like speaking is so powerful. But let me address if you're in corporate because I've been attracting a lot of corporate clients who are want to become better speakers, want to present better, and the farther up you go in the corporate ladder, the more people you are addressing and the more often you are addressing people, both in meetings, board meetings, department meetings, industry meetings. I mean, the list just keeps going on. And how do you move up the corporate ladder if you are already working so many hours and you just don't have the time to strategically network for that next career move? Speaking, being that person that's in the front of the room. Because what happens to all of you when you are speaking? Or let me take it back a little bit. What happens when you all attend an event that you're sitting in the audience and you love the speaker's message? You love the tips that they shared. What do you do naturally? Share that in the chat. You want to meet them afterwards. Yes. I love going up to the speakers. And if you're a shy introvert like myself, the best place to meet other people is to just go up and meet the speaker because lots of other people are going to come up there as well. It's a great place to meet others. And go compliment them. Excellent. And you want to see how you can incorporate what they are sharing immediately. But all beautiful answers. But that's what happens. So if you happen to be in corporate, those people are going to come to you as well. And hopefully you are so outstanding that the people that you are trying to, that you want to become like your next boss, the people that you want to be promoted to or who can promote you, will actually come and have a conversation with you. So now you're building your name, your personal brand. And all of those things work the same way with what a lot of you that who are coaches, who are consultants, you're doing the exact same thing. You are strategically getting in the right room and strategically getting in front of the right people. So I sort of want to blend also in like the things that are happening right now with travel. Be that person who is basically saving the day. And also think of like, yes, it's November, but guess what? So many people love to, hey, I'm just going to like put the brakes on. I'm going to enjoy the holidays and I'll pick things back up in January. Do you think meeting planners are taking the next 6 weeks off? Yeah, lots of heads are shaking. No, they're not. They're actually like they are still working and they have events that they need to be booking that are in the late winter, springtime. So even though a lot of people aren't reaching out to them, your email, you reaching out to them, whether that's by phone, email, other methods, you're going to get through. So I want you to take advantage of this time. Now, try not to send the same old email that everybody else is saying. Find something funny. Find something funny to open with, a funny subject line, because humor really does bring down our barriers. And it opens people up more to your message, to what you are talking about, and actually just to read your email. The other thing I would say is make sure, please make sure you don't have a lengthy email. Remember, we are opening the door to the conversation and we don't need this long email. I mean, I get pitches to be on my podcast every week, if not daily. And Lisa's shaking her head, and Victoria knows what I'm talking about, all the other podcast hosts that are here. And there are these lengthy emails that I barely read. I actually have a copy and paste type reply for them. So, is there anything about what I've shared with you today that is surprising or that you might actually try? You can feel free to either unmute yourself or you can write it in the chat if you'd like.
I have an event tonight, actually. Right after this, I'm
Oh,
jumping in the
do you
car
really?
and driving 3 hours north. But I'll be meeting with a whole room full of entrepreneurs. So
Hmm.
I think I'm going to keep all of these tips in the back of my mind. And when I am networking, see what I can very gently open some doors to the springtime.
So are you speaking or just going to a networking event?
I am facilitating. So it's a group of women. I'm absolutely honored beyond words to be invited to this event. It's called Women of Influence, and it's for my province of Saskatchewan. It's something that's Canada wide, but they do it province by province. And so I am a woman of influence that's been invited to be part of their panel discussion and then facilitate conversations with other entrepreneurs at the table.
Fantastic. Yeah, you should definitely let people know. I love speaking at events like this. And as corny as that sounds, I have actually, in events that I'm not being paid, I have said that at the end. I love speaking at events like this. If you have an event that is similar to this, that my message, and that this was when I was speaking on leadership, that would resonate with with my message, with my story, like I would love a warm introduction. And people will come up to you, you just have to instruct them, like if we can just like exchange some information, let me know. I'll be around all night.
Yeah,
Yes. So if that feels comfortable for you, depending on the situation, but definitely just like letting people know, letting the meeting planners know. I think too many times we just hold all this back.
I love that.
Good for you, Lisa. I'm so excited for you. Okay. I'm going to research the convention centers that are near me and see if there isn't an opportunity to speak. Yes, good job, Victoria. And in that podcast episode, like there is like a very short blurb on how to reply to those meeting planners, those conference organizers, and then just like customize it, put it into your own words. Who else wants to share something that they're surprised by or that they actually want to try and implement?
Hi, Lori. Hi, everybody.
Renee.
Hi, I'm Renee out of Fort Lauderdale. I love your red cape approach. I really do, because I feel like I've been a little lost in the email shuffle where you send an email and you don't get a response. And I am notoriously horrible at the follow up. Like I cringe at it and I need to start enjoying it more and have a better system for follow up. So I feel like this could truly fill an instant need, because they are probably crapping their pants right now if flights have been delayed. And I just think it's like it really resonates to the urgent action. Like, hey,
Yeah.
here's where I can really help you. It's not,
Yes.
it doesn't sound as pushy when you're just coming from from a place of servitude. It's like I know what you're
Yes.
going through right now. So I love that. I'm going to do that today.
Yes. And keep
Thank
in
you.
mind, like everything, the chaos that's going on, that's kind of, it's resolving itself, but there's still a little bit of a ripple effect. And you being down in Fort Lauderdale, I mean, that's convention haven, and you can drive
I
to West
know.
Palm Beach and Miami. I mean, there's so much opportunity for you.
Yeah.
And regarding follow up, because you've shared that with me before, that that follow-up can be hard. So again, think about doing what other people aren't doing. And a lot of people are hiding behind email. See if you can find their phone number.
Hmm.
Call them. With the convention centers, sometimes there is a contact phone number.
Okay.
When you go from the convention center and you go to the conference website that has all the information about the conference, there's sign up, there's, hey, to answer a question, to reach out
I
to
love
us.
that.
Feel free
Okay.
to reach out to the people. See if you can find their phone numbers
I love
and
that. And
give
I
them a
love what you
call.
shared also, Lori, about stop sounding like everyone else, right? Like I'm reaching out to follow up. It's like nauseating how many emails we send like that, right? With that said, the voicemail too, I started looking up fun, interesting, engaging voicemails that will actually get someone to stop and listen to you. And maybe the chances of them calling you back are greater because you did choose to sound a little bit different. So I'm gonna do that as well.
Okay, you want to share one of those with us?
Oh, I have it written down somewhere in my notes, so it would take me a
Okay.
while, but I'll find it. Sure. Give me a
Okay,
moment.
we're gonna assign
Yeah,
Renee
let me
to
look for it.
look that up,
Yep, I'll be
and
right
let,
back.
let me see if there's anybody else. But I want you to also consider it's not just conferences and conventions. Okay, there are meetup groups. So if you literally go to, I think it's meetups.com and look at different groups of people that get together that are in your area. Look at Eventbrite also. There are people who are hosting events, both virtual and in person. Your local chamber, co-working spaces. I know a friend of mine who owns a co-working space has these public events so that people will come in, see their beautiful space, and want to rent an office there, want to rent a desk. And I know that this particular woman does pay for her speakers because sometimes she charges for the event a very nominal fee. There's also masterminds. Think of the different masterminds. I'm sharing this with you because there's so many different ways that we can be sharing our message. Podcasts. Now, we've been talking a lot about conferences and convention centers, but there's also podcasts. Whose podcast have you been on that was like 2 years ago? Maybe you've got a new message. Maybe you've got a new angle. Maybe technology has changed in your industry. Consider reaching back out to those people because remember, they already know you, they like you, they trust you. And if you shared their podcast before and have continued sharing or will continue to share their podcast episode that you were on, they're more likely to bring you back. Summits is also another great way. Summits, you are growing somebody else's email list, but I recently signed up to be on somebody's summit that'll be coming in January. So since you're on my email list, you'll be hearing a little bit more about that. And that one is called How to Make Marketing Suck Less. And I just love the different perspectives of a lot of the other speakers that she's actually bringing on. And how about like BNI and other women's groups? Some like groups of people that are specifically for networking. So I wanted to share all that with you. All right. Let's see. Victoria says, I just found that a women's business org in my state created a networking platform and I clicked to join during this call. Congratulations. Talk about taking action. And I'm curious on your opinion is on the outreach versus email versus social media. There seems to be this school of thought that email is dead, but when I hear you stat that a quarter of everything you see and interact with on social media is bot related, Victoria, I think you should just like one, if you can pick up the phone, pick up the phone. Two, I don't think email like that is dead. I mean, you got to look at our own habits. And that's why I say be different. Your subject line needs to be different. Your opening line needs to be different. I really think that if a meeting planner, a conference organizer sees a short email with space so that it's easy to skim, because we as human beings, we are skimmers before we are readers, that they're going to read your message more likely than this very long email that looks like it was copy and paste. But I agree that there's so much out there right now that just looks like whatever, whatever. And I like to trust my gut as to whether or not a bot created it. I actually had an incident over the weekend. I have a pellet stove. I live up here in New Hampshire, and I think I'm having an issue with my pellet stove. So I sent my guy a message and told him what the problem was. And I got a message back almost instantly, which is never like him, especially on the weekends. And the message was, "How can we help?" And my reply was, "Tom, I don't know if this is actually you or if you have a bot sending messages." I haven't heard back from him. And I also might have fixed it myself. Okay. Who else wants to share? So, sorry, let me go back to Victoria. Victoria, does that help you?
Yeah, I was just curious what your thoughts were on the outreach piece of it. Outreach, like one-on-one messaging someone who organizes conventions or is a speaker, and you know what I mean? Like it's almost like cold messaging, which feels ick to me.
But you're trying to help. You're trying
Yeah.
to help them. So I don't think it's going to be icky. I think the times that I have done this, and I've done this even, during the summertime, it's beautiful weather. Like I just reach out to people and just say, hey, if you find that one of your speakers is not able to make it, I'm within a 60-minute drive of the conference and I happen to be available that weekend. If anything, they're just like, thank you so much for letting us know. Like they have a plan B if something happens. And if you have an experienced meeting planner, conference organizer, they know that they've had to shuffle agendas or ask one of the speakers who happens to be there, hey, do you have another session that you could teach tomorrow morning? Can you stick around for another day? And you just never know. Like sometimes speakers, especially professional speakers, like a lot of days are like back to back. So look at it as you are doing them a favor, putting on your red cape. I should have worn my red sweater today. Okay, Renee found her notes. Okay, please, Renee, I would love to hear this.
Okay, so I will readily admit that Chat GPT has become a very close friend in many ways. So
Okay.
because
You're making Sean very happy.
right, so here's some ones that relate to my message. And
Yes.
by the way, I'm a speaker and I focus on helping people ditch the script, shift their presence, and increase their influence, just like Lisa was saying. So excited to be here. So these speak to me. This one I thought was hilarious. This is the one that's called the I wish I could leave you snacks voicemail. Hey, so and so, it's Renee. If I could leave a cookie with this voicemail, I would. But instead, I'll leave you this. I'd love to support your next event with a communication workshop that is actually fun. Call me back when you're ready for a chat. And that's when
It's
I put
good.
at the top. I know it's fun, right? Because by the time they're listening to their voicemails, they need a coffee or need a snack to pump them up
That's
to listen to
actually good.
voicemails, right? So that one I
Yeah.
feel like could be adapted to anybody's message. So you could just chat GPT, what is the I wish you could leave you a snack
I
voicemail.
would even name the snack. Like, is
Well, that's
it
a good idea.
is it a freshly baked chocolate chip cookie?
Yeah, I think
And I
that
just think
that
the way that you
that's
say
good.
this and you leave the mess, Abigail is just like, yeah, I want one right now too. Yeah, I think
Right.
you could really get into describing the cookie or
I think
like
you
I
could.
love the soft, gooey brownies. I like the center pieces, not the corner pieces.
Yes, 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 yes.
But again, like that, like someone's going to continue, like it's a pattern interrupt, and people are going to be
Pattern
like,
interrupt.
what? They're
I
going to like,
love that.
what?
And
The
can I
only thing
share
I
one
would,
more? One more,
yes, and the
because
only
this
thing I
one,
would change about that, Renee, is I would leave your name at the end, especially since you're saying, call me back. Hey, my name is Renee, and here's my phone number. Call me back over
I
the next
love
couple of
that.
weeks.
Right, because they're just listening for the end anyway of the voicemail.
Well, in the beginning, if they hear your name, it's just like, oh, yep, this is like, oh, here comes somebody else. Somebody's trying to pitch me something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
So,
speaking to that, this is my second favorite one that I put at the top of my
okay.
note. This one is called the I know you're avoiding voicemails voicemail. Hi, so and so, it's Renee. Don't worry, this is not a long voicemail. I respect your time and your sanity. Just calling to see if you need a speaker who won't put people to sleep. Call me when you've recovered from the 800 plus other emails and voicemails you got today. I love that
I
one.
love
Is
that.
that good?
How
I
many other
can't wait to use
people? I
that.
love that. That would be so fun to leave somebody.
I
If
think you
any,
could also spin that into an email as well. You know, I know you get 500 emails with people pitching you or whatever. That's awesome. Good job.
yeah.
Very
So
nice. Okay.
there's so many, and once ChatGPT knows your voice, right, it'll pick up how you sound and your normal tone, excuse me, the normal way you speak with your language. So
Mhm.
And I would also say when you're keep track of the versions of emails and voice messages that you send and just keep track of them and see, be like, maybe you just have a little minor tweak, kind of like Renee said, like put your name at the end with your phone number. See what happens. Just keep data. Like, who calls you back? Do you get more replies back to that email when you word it this way? So I was just at a retreat a couple of weeks ago in Mexico, and I was talking to a woman who, like, her big outreach is through LinkedIn. And she specifically said she has a DM strategy. And I'm trying to like word this right. And she said, here's how she's tweaked it. So I'm gonna use you, Victoria, to be like, hi, Victoria. I'm reaching out to connect with you. And this was her big thing. I write about, instead of telling people what she speaks on or how she helps people, I write content on. And she said that's worked really well in getting people to reply to her DMs. So I think the same thing with like whether you're emailing somebody, you're leaving somebody a phone message, just keep track of your script and then just like let me just change a word or two, a little bit of a structure and see what happens. So that then you land on something that is working. Okay, what questions does anybody have? It can either be on this that we're talking about right now or anything speaking related because you know I'm an open book when it comes to the speaking world. Just feel free to unmute yourself and ask away. Victoria.
I'm curious if everything that you've shared and everything that you know about speaking, if there's anything else that you would change or consider doing differently as in terms of retreats, like being a speaker or presenter or an offering a service at a retreat.
Oh,
So it's
yes.
kind of the same
Same
realm,
thing.
but not, yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, it's a smaller,
It is smaller. So a friend of mine reached out to me and asked me to speak at her retreat that this weekend. I said yes, and then I literally have not heard from her. So I'm not sure if it's still happening, but I also know that she has a lot going on in her world. So stay tuned next week and I'll let you know if I went to Connecticut. So yes, but that's almost the same as like as speaking for masterminds. And it's about building those relationships with whoever is hosting that retreat. Or if you can find somebody who helps people plan retreats. That's also another great person to build a relationship with. And Victoria, you're still doing your podcast, aren't you?
I've been on sabbatical.
You've been on sabbatical. Okay.
Yep, since March, actually. I'm just
Oh,
not sure.
that's a
Just
long
not sh
sabbatical.
That's it's a long sabbatical. But yeah, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do.
Okay. Because I was going to say, like, using your podcast to talk about your speaking events and how you work with people. I mean, when I spoke for a podcasting club that's here in the New England area, I mean, I shared with them 7 different podcast episodes that would help them get on more stages. And you don't have to do them all at once, but just to plan them out accordingly. So if you do decide to bring your podcast back, let me know. and we'll try to help you implement some of those episodes.
I think the hardest, I think where I got to the point where I wasn't seeing the return of investment of my time. Because it's a lot of time, right?
It
And
is a
so I
lot of
was
time.
not seeing, yes, I was having steady growth, but at the same time, it wasn't leading to new clients. It wasn't leading to, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, is this the best place for me to invest my time? Let me step back, take a pause, and see if that's the case. And I'm still just kind of like a little floundering.
Mhm. I understand. When we have a coffee chat, we can talk a little bit more about your podcast, and I can share some of the tips that I used last year that I implemented last year that helped me 4x my downloads. And yeah, we'll just talk more about it.
Okay. I
Yeah,
sent the link, so
I did. I
thank
saw
you.
it. Thank you. Miss Kelsey.
Hey, Laurie-Ann.
Hello.
So I didn't get a chance to talk to you in Mexico, so now I'm stealing your time here.
Here's one of the retreaters.
So just to give the rest of the folks a little bit of a DL on me. So I am a data analyst and launch specialist, membership specialist, but I'm also a tech founder. I built my own platform. So, Laurie, my question for you is a lot of my speaking topics come down to buyer psychology. That's where I get most of my traction. It is the cross section of both of my arms of my business. But um, I have been struggling to display my personality when I'm reaching out to speaking potential speaking engagements because I approach buyer psychology very differently than most people. I'm a licensed therapist, but I'm also a MIT certified data analyst. And I am a quirky, ridiculous person. So like when I'm on stage, it's nuts. Uh I get laughs, I get lots of head nodding. I have trouble though projecting that onto applications and things like that. So I was curious any suggestions you had because I want to keep my applications very short and succinct, but that comes across from my corporate voice as opposed to my speaking voice.
So some of those speaking applications, do they ask to see video?
Most of them don't. Most of the ones that I end up applying for, they don't.
Okay. But they're probably going to go to your webpage, your website. You need a speaker page. Do you have a speaker page?
I don't. My
Okay.
website is quirky, but I need a speaker page. You're right.
Okay. You need a speaker page so that you can put some of those quirky videos so that, here I am, a meeting planner, and I'm like, all right, she talks about data. How interesting could data be? But then I see your video and I'm like, oh my God, like I want you to pull me in, to draw me in, to be able to say, we have to have her.
Okay.
I mean, this would be, and especially if you're funny, and because in the speaking world, we say the more they laugh, the more money you make. And I was just thinking about this because some of the people who are here who are inside of my private groups that, like I've been working with a voice coach and a voice psychologist. I don't really know what to call her. And she was talking about like, for us to give her some names of speakers that we've seen. And there's one gentleman that I want to give her, and I know that she's going to ask me like what it is about him that I like, but he doesn't have a whole lot of voice fluctuation. But what makes him so enduring and likable is because he's funny. And I really think that when you're funny, you can get away with a lot more. So the fact that you're funny, and I haven't seen any of your videos, so maybe we should have a coffee chat and talk a little bit more about it. But you definitely need a speaker page so that you can show some of those videos and some of those moments so that I can hear the audience laughing.
Got it. Okay. Awesome. Thank you for that.
Good. Anybody else? Who else has a question? We got a couple more minutes for questions, and then we will go around the room introducing ourselves and networking. Renee.
Okay, so yeah, adding on to what Kelsey said, which sounds fascinating. That's awesome. To turn data and make it funny, which is amazing. What I've done so far is I have my one sheet and it has like a nice list now of places I've spoken at, and I'm having Jeremy put it up on the website. The challenge that I'm still facing is, like, for one of my key engagements that I had, video was strictly prohibited this year. And she apologized to everyone. No one was able, it was just the place that they held it, like they strictly prohibited video and there was no photographer. I was like, oh, so I felt screwed. So I really only have on my speaker page a background embedded image of me speaking. So again, it doesn't show me speaking, but then if people take that and go to my either LinkedIn or to my social media, then I have images of me speaking. So I'm just like, I'm just hungry for, that next opportunity where I can speak and then get it, like literally get it onto my website. Do you think
Go
meeting
make
for
it.
what?
Go make the video.
Yeah, but don't I
Go
need to be in
host
front of an
your
audience?
go
Like,
host your own event. Libraries.
okay,
If you, and I know that that's a place where you coach your clients sometime. I don't
I
know
do,
like
yeah,
what their
right.
conference rooms, if they have a theater room, but there's a lot of libraries that will let you use the room. You could
Some
bring
of
in
them,
some friends, you could host
okay.
your own event, bring in some meeting planners, bring in some association managers, tell them you're doing this one night event, and get a videographer.
Even know what I would speak to them about. Like, then I'd have to really find
No, you're just
out
going to
if
do one of your
one of
in-demand
my
signature
normal,
speech.
okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Or do a 20-minute TED Talk style shorter version.
And find another speaker to do it with also.
Yeah.
why do I feel like instantly feel like, oh, that's a lot of work. And I think that's my
It
challenge in this
it doesn't
business. Like,
have to
oh,
be.
okay,
It doesn't have to be.
okay,
I know a friend of mine needed some video for her new website. So she had new colors. So she went and bought the new outfit. So she needed video. So she hosted an event at a library. The library said is like she couldn't pitch or charge people. But what we did was they brought a canned good and we donated it to a soup kitchen, to a food pantry. So it was a huge win-win. She got video, she got photographs, she got her message out there, and then the food pantry got lots of canned
nice,
food. Yeah. So
okay,
you can make your own event. Now remember, when you make your own event, host your own event, and you're going to say something brilliant that I know you're going to say, you've got several brilliant lines, Renee. Look in the camera. So for everybody who's new on this call, the last thing you want is to be saying something brilliant and we just have this profile. I want you to like just look in the camera when you say your brilliant line.
okay,
And having a
thank
couple of
you.
cameras would be awesome.
Okay,
Even if you just use, I mean, our phones today, they have great cameras.
yeah,
All
mine
you
is an
need
older
is
version, so I don't have the
go
best
find a
quality.
friend with a newer phone. Okay. I've got a solution for everything. Find a friend with a
So,
newer phone
okay,
and um it doesn't look like this, but it's very similar to this. You can get this on Amazon. This cost me like $20. It is a great wireless lavalier.
wireless
It
lavalier,
is a wireless lavalier. Here's the microphone that you are going to put on you. And then you put this little device into the phone. And the
okay,
audio is outstanding on this. And
wow,
this whole setup costs like $20.
okay, great, okay. Because that was the thing, I wasn't sure, like, if they're going to my website, if I finally get them to my website, which I'm working on,
Mhm.
will they then go to LinkedIn to see that, like, I have video footage there, but it just wasn't good enough quality for Jeremy to, put it onto the website.
Yeah. Like I have a video that's on my website that is older and it is a little bit grainy, but I like it. But it's like you don't hear me saying anything. It's just in the background. So
Right,
that's one way to use, and this is for everybody. All right. I know we talked about a lot today about strategic networking, strategic marketing, basically visibility, strategic visibility, both for our online coaches and consultants, and also if you are in corporate, because I know some of you are in corporate, and this is a great way to move up the corporate ladder and get just basically to show off and showcase your expertise to an audience filled with your potential new bosses. So let's go around the room and introduce ourselves and who you are, where you are, and what you speak on, and where we can find you. Just give us your web address would be great. Kelsey, why don't you kick us off?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Kelsey Silver. I'm a decade corporate data analyst and a licensed therapist. I speak on utilizing buyer psychology to add $10,000 to $20,000 to your sales on repeat. And I am located in Long Island, New York. And if you want to check me out, I'm kelseysilver.com.
Fantastic. Lisa.
I am Lisa Bain. I am located in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. Say that 5 times fast. And I am a resilience and change speaker using my signature 5-step reset strategy. I speak in corporate and I also coach individuals through massive changes in life. And you can find me on my website at lisakbain.com.
Thank you. Victoria.
I am Victoria Volk from North Dakota, and I speak on or write mostly on grief and energy healing and work with grievers one-on-one and groups and do energy healing work virtually. And you can
Where
find
can we
me
find you?
at, theunleashedheart.com.
Thank you. Abigail.
Hi, Laurie-Ann, everybody. I've been a nurse and nurse executive for the past 20 years, and I'm the founder of Die Better LLC, where we normalize conversations and education about dying better at end of life. And I am currently in Germany, living in Germany with my husband. And you can find me, my easy website is diebetterbook.com. It's my book I just published called Everybody's Doing It, So Let's Die Better. So
I love that.
there you go.
Renee.
Could you post that title in the chat? Where'd she go? Abigail?
The
That sounds
title or
so
the
cool.
website?
The title of your book. That's so
Of course.
cool. Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Renee Cooper, and I'm out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I speak on helping people sound less boring. You can find more about me at reneehopecooper.com.
Thank
And I
you.
do one-to-one coaching as well.
Thank you. Murat, I know that you showed up a little bit later.
I am so sorry.
That's
I had a
okay.
meeting
Do you want to
attend.
introduce yourself?
My pleasure. Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Murat Uzunda. I'm joining from New York City. I have a full-time job in corporate. I work at JP Morgan Chase. My job involves a lot to do transforming the organizations, and I want to become better leader, influencer. That's why I joined.
Yes. Thank you.
But I
I'm
don't
glad-
have any links or anything like this. I'm just on LinkedIn. That's all.
He's on LinkedIn. You can find
Yes.
him on LinkedIn. And if anybody would like to share either their website or their LinkedIn, you can all connect with each other. But if you do connect on LinkedIn, make sure you leave a message, like, hey, I just met you on Laurie-Ann's Speaker Circle. Well, wonderful. We will continue this conversation a little bit further in January when I do this again. Thank you so much for joining me today. And as always, I want you to be in demand. Hey, before you go, do you want to learn how to turn every talk into clients and cash? Well, check out my brand new limited series podcast, Public Speaking Monetization Tips. You'll learn how to find speaking opportunities, monetize every stage, and use your voice as your most powerful marketing tool. Whether you're a coach, a consultant, or an expert, this series will help you speak smarter, not harder. Search for Public Speaking Monetization Tips on your favorite podcast app and start listening today.